All right, welcome to another episode from the chart readers, and I will be honest, I definitely missed this one. PBTS. That said, if you were in our Discord group, we were talking about this thing. All right, you can see it right here. I can scroll up a few times. Again, just re-entered right here. Like, if you're not part of the Discord group, please come join it. I'll throw a link in the comments. But look, there's a lot of good that can happen here, but at the exact same time, there's a lot that is saying pump and dump. All right, so tomorrow will matter way, way more than today. But dude, a lot happened very, very quickly. You can see why I always say it. Red, 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 red was such a quick green, 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 right? And we're basically a couple little green candles away. Like, this seems like a lot to wait for. Don't get me wrong. Like 30 to 44 is a big percent swing. But from here, all I'm seeing is red, 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 all the way to the 50 right here, right? So, with patience does come reward sometimes, and there's a couple different ways I'll talk about playing this one, right? But yeah, I missed this. The cool thing is I know people in the Discord group made it for sure, made money on this one for sure, all right? The next one we'll talk about is Ape. So I have not looked at Ape in a really, really long time. I was actually a little surprised to see the 16% day. I also think it's a really interesting candle with some good setup. So that one I'm a little 50-50 on, but I'm at least going to give you my thoughts of why I'm 50-50. But yeah, it could be an interesting move. And look, the last one I'm going to talk about is We. All right, I have no interest in trading We. Maybe I'll eat my words and actually buy some if it does a very specific thing. But number one, I have no interest in buying bankrupt stocks. Like, that just seems like a silly thing to put my hard-earned money in, all right? Number two, I know the days have looked pretty extreme with the percentages, but it really is a moving average story, and that's what we will talk about on that one, all right? But overall, before I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? I'm going to look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. This is the first time I'm looking at this stock, so I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we are done up here, we will use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really, really does help me out with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time is beyond appreciated, all right? If you can actually share the video, it really does the best things, because I'm not the best at that, but hey, nonetheless, thank you, all right? So look, let's get into it. And before we talk about the immediate, let's zoom out, all right? What is this stock, all right? And man, my very, very first thoughts, just looking at the whole thing, we are pretty much under moving averages for most of the time, all right? Really quickly, you can see like the 20s up there, we're pretty much under it. 50s right there, pretty much under it. We get over it for a bit, but then we go right back under. Get over it for a bit, go back right under. Stay under them all, try, go back up. Like, there are definitely a couple pops. I see them. There's definitely a few, right? But overall, we are under multiple, if not all, moving averages for most of the time. More immediately, all right, I don't know this stock at all, all right, but since this crazy September drop almost a year ago, right, we're pushing 11 months ago, we have been under all the moving averages. There were moments it tries to get over the 8 and the 20, the 50 definitely stops it, goes back well under, okay? That said, for whatever reason, today was a monster day. Look, I don't have my phone in front of me. I didn't look at any headlines before I made the video. Let me know if there was any real news here. I would be curious. My honest opinions, again, I don't know if there's headlines. So for real, this is just me talking based on what I see. The word here is technology sector, software application. In my head, NVIDIA had a killer day, gets back over the 50, gets back over the 8. NASDAQ has a really strong day. I know it looks like an insignificant 1%, but like 1% on NASDAQ is monstrous, all right? And we're basically back over the 50, which is what I love. Like those two right there, again, I might be wildly off, but my first thoughts are, you know what? This kind of played the rebound of tech, found a really nice red to turn into a green, and you know, is what it is, right? The one thing I just truly hate on this chart is the volume, all right? Yesterday, look at the box over there. There were 1 million shares traded, all right? Day before, less than 700K. Day before, 1.2. So we're basically averaging 1 million shares, and all of a sudden, we 98x that all the way up to here. Do you really think that this is going to hold tomorrow? I don't know. I'll be honest, especially if there's not much news. I could see this. Where are we to this? Oh, wow, we're still under that. Where are we to this? Okay, if 26 cents is lost tomorrow, I can see it dropping all the way to 22. All right, I think this, I'm actually going to draw this line. You don't want to go under that line because red, green. Between this line and here, you'll do a red. I think all the way to there. I think 22 cents, again, the 8 average, you can see the number over there, is where this will go if for real we didn't break the 20. Yes, I obviously see we're physically over it, but being over a line and breaking a line are two very different things, okay? I know I don't have a camera, but I put the number 2 up in the air. I don't know why I shared that, sorry. But yeah, look, like we've been over the 8, couldn't confirm it. We've been over the 8, couldn't confirm it, end up dropping. We have not been over this 20 in, I mean, did this day even break it or did it just land on? Okay, this day broke it. Look, this day physically got over it and then it did a really silly split, right? So like split aside, did not confirm, right? So this day breaks 3 moving averages, couldn't confirm, right? So just because we broke 2 doesn't mean, obviously, I hope you bank the 70%, right? Make your money, baby, for real. No guarantee that we actually broke the 20, because again, if this 20 break is real, break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20 and go to the 50, all the way from 28 to 80. I was going to say 70 something, right? Like 79, I guess is what the actual number is. But yeah, going from 30 to 70 rounded is more than double, right? And if you watch the intro, one of the things I said was, look, you can wait for 44 cents, because I'm going to delete this line, but I'll draw it for now, okay? Red, green. It really could be a very fast climb from 44 to 77 and 79. There is no such thing as safe. There's no such thing as guaranteed, but that is a better channel from here to here than really what could be from this orange one to up here. Again, I generally am seeing a whole mess of red, right? Like a couple insignificant greens, right? I think this would be an important, like I'm not in this, I will set my alert for 33 cents. I think I want to get over this line right there. And then from there, I think those are 3 really insignificant greens in this string of red that hopefully will take me there. I'm gonna leave this line right there actually. I think that's a good one to do. Let me just see it. What is this thing doing after hours? I have no idea. It's holding. Look, obviously we saw it go down an insignificant 2%. It's at least holding and it's at least still over the 20. Prove to me that we've broken the 20 and want to go to the 50. That's what I'm looking for here, all right? Otherwise, I'm assuming this is a pump and dump. I'm assuming this 100 million post-market volume, 98 million regular volume is not going to do the same thing tomorrow. I think we're going to drop to at least 50, if not maybe even lower. If we can hold like 80, that could be interesting for this stock, all right? So I'm not a firm believer just yet. Has some criteria. Break 31, I would love to know it. If you're patient enough, hey, wait for 44. It seems like a lot to throw away between 31 and 44. So just my 2 cents. Look, I don't even think it's worth looking at the weekly. Let's just look at it. What number is this? Ooh, 41. 41 might be a little bit hard to break, and I'm going to draw this just because it's from the weekly. Interesting. It's this. Again, goes to show you, wait for 44. I have to draw that because that's off of the weekly. Because you saw me, before this line, I just called these 3 insignificant. I'm glad I looked at the weekly and added that. PBTS. I hope you made good money. I would love to ride the continuation if it happens, all right? So let's take a look at Ape here. And I will be honest with everyone. I traded Ape for a while. I believe it was this flow of trading right here. Ape for a quick minute, and yeah, this makes sense early in the year. Ape was a really big holding of mine, all right? I cannot pretend, and I know I had made some good money on Ape, all right? Now, what is happening recently, look, I haven't said this phrase in a long time, but when 3 lines, more than half, let alone when 4 lines, let alone when 5 lines are all together in like a pretty near couple pennies, couple things. I call this a horizontal cluster, okay? What's interesting to me is it seems like these 3 have continued up while these 2 have continued down. All right, they're not really flowing together as a 5-line cluster. It looks like this 3 line kind of intersected with the 2 line. Again, not something I see all the time, and why I kind of said in the beginning, this is a little bit of a weird and interesting Ape chart, okay? From here, all right, look, I actually don't know what happened here. I also do know that AMC dropped massively. All right, so I don't know if people hit abandon ship and came here. I don't know if the news of one was inverse of the other. Like I'm telling you, literally I'm making this video more as a viewer request. I do not have my phone in front of me. I don't have like headlines I can look to validate this. I would love like answers from the team, right? I'm at least going to talk about some technicals here, okay? First and foremost, I'm going to talk about Thursday. On Thursday, volume was super low. It was 3 million shares. You can see it in the box over there. Well below that 50 average line, and it had been well below that 50 average line for, you know, since the late July timeframe, right? We then really monster go from 3 million to almost 50 million, more than 10x volume. We then go from 40 million to 125. Like, that's pretty hardcore right there, all right? And volume is king. And that kind of volume is how you escape moving averages for sure, all right? That said, there were moments when people thought that this was BS and came all the way basically back into the cluster. There were obviously moments where people thought it was going to break into the high 2s. You can see my line's actually at 217, and what did we just say? It was 215 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the high was 215. If we can break into this 217, all right, red, green, red, oh, myself, nothing, green, red, really quick 217 to 266 movement. I could really easily see that happening, all right? That said, I really think that's going to need to break for me to be really interested here. What is this thing doing after hours? It's holding. It went down a little bit, but I would call that holding. Oh, sorry, I didn't click it. Yeah, I'm really surprised that the volume went this high up. All right, we have seen volume get this high before. Let me just zoom out again. We see that this high or higher volume basically be a little bit of a dropping point, right? Hard dropping point there. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if we're going to see this gradual little one or if we're going to see a hard drop, all right? The one thing to say is if it's a gradual little one, the stock actually can maybe hold it and then recover, right? Like, that's at least what I'm learning from right here. if it's a bad drop down, I'm not going to be a fan of this. And again, I would be really curious about this AMC drop. Again, we were here, we then went there. Essentially the same 5-line cluster, maybe even a little bit more textbook horizontal 5-line right here, right? But this one clearly lost them all and died. This one clearly broke them all and might be ready to fly, right? So I wish I had my phone. I wish I had the headlines. I would really appreciate some help, but I think that's my best advice here. Wait for this 217 with confirmation, because again, 217 should be a quick ride up to 260. And look, every 20 cents is 10%. We're adding a little bit more than 40 cents, right? So this right here is a 20% window. That really should be easy. Maybe we'll stop around this 244, but again, I don't think so. I think we run it in all honesty. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents, I think, here. What does the weekly look like? Oh, man. We're over all the moving averages on the weekly. All right, the 50 just formed. There's no way it's going to become 100 weeks anytime soon. 217 is the magic number here. This is an interesting one. Please let me know the news. I'm really curious what happened here. But yeah, this is an interesting chart. This is not a textbook doji, but in my head, it's a doji. People thought I was going to run. People thought I was going to fly. I mean, sorry, die down and go back into the cluster. I think tomorrow will be the real indicative truth. As long as we can hold 297, it should be okay. All right. I really do think that. Hold 297. All right. I think that's a good place to end this, actually. Last on the list is WeWork. Okay, look. This day right here was the loud day. You can see it when I click on it. It was a 44% day on Wednesday. All right. Nope, Thursday, excuse me. Friday, you can see it was a 10% day, but I didn't really like Friday. Friday actually opens at 22. You can see it in the box over there, and then drops all the way down to 20. More people lost 10% than they gained 10%, in my opinion. That's what I think of these candles, right? From there, again, I know today looks like another near, double-digit day, but dude, all we're really doing is this moving average game. I call this a bottom feeder trade, all right? I do not think that's a technical term, but yeah, red, gap down, red, 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 red is the same green, 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 green we just talked about on the other two, right? Me personally, I'm not a fan of trading these. I have a full-time job. I don't have my finger on the mouse. It's a little scary to buy this and walk away, all right? That said, on this day, and on this day, all we were trying to do was break over these three moving averages. If you can break these three, if you can get over 23 cents, this thing's going to want to go up to here. It's going to want to come up to 35. Also, look, red, 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 red. It's actually recovered most of it, but not quite all of it. You know what I mean? There's still a little bit of red, red, red up here to go. And this on its own little ways was a red, 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 red. So, hey, it might be a green, 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 right? So all that said, I would not touch this under 23 cents. I really wouldn't. Because again, just zooming out, we've been here before. The three lines, the 8, the 20, and the 50 have gotten really close. It's actually gotten over it. So that's an important thing to note. Hey, it does know how to get here if it gets over here. So I can't take away from that. But even this one, we get to it, we stay, we lose it. We get to it, break it real quick, we lose it, and then we lose it, right? So even here, get to it, break it a little bit, but then lose it, right? For me, nothing matters till we get over this. At that point, you might as well wait for this. And then really, yeah, we don't need to wait for that. 25. Okay, 24, 25 cents. I think that's the range for this thing to like break and hit for me to just genuinely be interested. Otherwise, I think all we will be doing is staying under the lines like it knows how to do. Like I said, we have been here. There's a good chance that this goes from 24 to basically 34. Excuse me, sorry about that. And that's basically a 50% move, right? You're adding 10 cents to a stock that only has 10 cents in it, right? So it's there. I see it. For me, I'm not here pretending it's going to be easy to break those three. Where are we after hours? Dropping a little insignificant, but yeah, until it gets over these three lines, I have to assume it's going to do what it normally does. Maybe a little something, but lose it, all right? maybe a little something, but lose it. All right, maybe a little something, but lose it. Maybe a little something, but lose it. Maybe a little something, but lose it. Like, this stock is under the lines more than it is over it, and I believe that there's some like bankruptcy noise around it. So hey, just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours. Otherwise, as always, thank you. I'll put the Discord link in the comments.